You're listening to Beast Over Burden, powered by Barbell Logic.
We're Nikki and Andrew, your personal professional coaches.
We help you take control of your fitness through hard but doable training and nutrition practices that fit your busy life.
Build a stronger, healthier version of yourself with lifelong habits. Hello, and welcome to Beast Over Burden, powered by Barbell Logic. I'm Nikki, your host, Nikki Sims.
And I'm Andrew, co-host, Andrew Jackson.
This is the voice of Andrew Jackson.
This is me attempting to stay close to the microphone.
Yeah, it's funny. We're trying to sit close to our microphones and also sit close enough to each other to be in the camera view, even though I don't even know if you're going to see this, but our legs are just we're like pretzeling.
So, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about that point that some people tend to hit in their training sometimes where you just kind of maybe feel like you're in a rut and you're wondering like, what is my purpose in this gym with this barbell, with this body? What am I doing with my training? And kind of need something to give you some more purpose. So the goal that we're speaking to is finding your why. I want to find my why with my training. And we talk about finding your why really often because that ends up becoming your North Star to a certain extent. Kind of helps you set some boundaries, be confident in trade-offs, and helps you make decisions with your training. But it's hard to do those things when you're not really feeling confident in why you're doing any lifting at all.
Have you felt this?
I've felt it when I've been going through periods of being kind of injured and limited. And I know we've spoken to that in other episodes. But I hear it come up with clients when like their consistency drops a little bit, they get a little quiet. And I have this kind of background app running where I'm like, am I getting bored of writing these programs? Because if I'm getting bored of writing these programs, I'm wondering how my clients are feeling performing them. So I always wonder. And sometimes clients are just like, no, it's really good. Keep it going. Like, let's just keep it simple. I'm like, okay, thank goodness, just check in. But sometimes I think maybe people don't know that we can have some variety in how we achieve muscular development and strength improvement. And I think maybe the lack of purpose comes from boredom and just not knowing what other options are.
And how do you get through those pages?
The diary pages?
Yes.
Dear diary, I don't feel like lifting today. Yeah, like when you start to have more of those exact conversations with yourself of just like opening up your program, you're just like, man, I don't want to do this. Like, I think you got to listen to that. And sometimes it's just like a lull. It could be like a 1, 2, 3 session lull where you're just like, oh man, this again. And it kind of passes by the next week. You could just be tired, hungry, could be other stress going on. But if that is becoming a real frequent thought that you're having, then I think it's time to look at your program and talk to your coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talking to your coach is for sure the best thing to do, assuming you have one, because then you get to have someone put you on the spot and say, well, what's important to you? You know, and I know you're pretty good at this. You do it with your clients. You help me make those decisions just on like, you know, what shoes I want to wear.
Got to know your why behind the shoes.
Yes, I have many. But sometimes we like get blind to what else is out there when we're feeling kind of apathetic. And so kind of going down to back to the basic question of like, what is important to you about your health? What is important to you about how you feel in your own skin? What kind of message do you want to show people who are around you? You know, your kids, your colleagues, your spouse, and, you know, how do you want to show up for yourself? That gets into like the very like deep parts of this when we ask all the whys. It's like, there's usually something ego related. There's something health related, maybe some insecurity. And it's okay to get down there because I think that's what can really actually drive some change.
Yeah. I often feel apathetic, I would say. And I don't know if that's abnormal or normal anymore, having been training for so long.
Life at the top of the curve.
Yeah. Or on the downward slope.
Oh, no.
Lately, I simply try to convince myself to focus on faith that I will feel better afterwards.
Which tends to be the case.
Pretty much always.
Yeah.
But it's in maybe not the most intuitive way. It's not like I just got a massage or I took a really nice hot shower.
A good nap.
Like I feel the weight of what is the word I'm looking for? The weight of sloth alleviated from my shoulders. Like I know that if I didn't train for more than a day or two, it would feel worse for sure.
There's physical energy that needs to be released.
Yes.
And when you keep it quiet, I think that's where you just get into this like momentum of just like, no, I don't want
to. Yeah.
But then when you give it an outlet, I think that's when you have this kind of even like adrenaline dump where you're like, oh, thank you. That feels better.
Right. So sometimes this just actually happened the other day, did not want to train. And my program doesn't have a lot of clarity right now. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants just because schedule's all over the place. And I, even just days that I'm training are changing a lot, travel, whatever. And so I have certain number of lifts that I want to get done per week, certain number of heavy sets, and just kind of weights that I have generally in mind. But I'm not being coached with a formal, let's add weight and let's target this competition. It's just sort of like...
And you've been lifting, which, I mean, you're obviously well into this. What I mean to say is you're not one of those people who are just chasing soreness.
No, not at all. Every session I have a goal in mind and it fits within a long-term structure. And yet it's not being tightly coordinated, maybe, or tightly planned out, which might be part of the problem. I don't know. That might make it worse.
Yeah.
But the feeling that I had when I got done the other day, like I did not want to go in. I kind of told myself this was my bare minimum. I had a certain weight and number of reps that I wanted to get. I started warming up, and this was an unusual occurrence where each rep through the set of 3x6 is what I ended up doing. I told myself I wanted to get at least 4 at 170 kilos. And after the first rep, I got up and squat, and I was like, I don't know if I can do another rep.
Oh my God.
It was really painful and slow.
Yeah.
So I did another one, and I was like, well, actually, that felt way better than the first one. And then I did a third one, and I was like, okay, I think I could do 5 or 6 here. Did a fourth one, felt better. Fifth one felt better. And the sixth one, it started to slow down. I was like, okay, good. This is exactly what I want. And I was able to do 3x6, 170 kilos. Not terrible, not good. It's just sort of like punching the clock. And then I did the same thing for bench at 140 kilos. And I got done, and I felt like I got hit by a truck.
That is uncommon for you.
But in a good way. Like, I made it. I got it done. I did the work. I lived to fight another day. And I held serve. I held serve until the next time that I can train. And all right, let's focus on trying to sleep better and eat better.
Yeah.
Which did not happen. But I mean, eating better is happening. But sleep has just been weird. I don't know what is going on. It's this weird shoulder season.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of cooling down, but it's still warm, and the humidity keeps the temperature in this awkward spot where I feel like I'm on the verge of sweating all the time.
You're glistening right now.
I am, in fact, fighting off the sweat internally. And like, it's not really cold enough to need an air conditioner, but I keep turning it on, and then I turn it off in the middle of the night because it's cooled off. I don't know. I'm all over the place. So that's a very long answer to say that the key for me in those phases is taking one day at a time and keeping the faith that I will feel better after I get done.
Well, you were thinking about doing a weightlifting competition, but without that certainty, do you think not having that is kind of making your time in the gym not as focused or different kind of focused? I mean, you mentioned earlier that maybe something's going on where you don't have a plan. So
yeah, I think I'm just at that stage where a lot of my clients are also at, where you just try to find a groove that you can get in. I think my problem is not so much that I don't have a program. It's just I have no consistency with the schedule. I mean, right now with Clara's school schedules kind of all over the place. It feels like sometimes she's needs a ride, sometimes she doesn't. Sometimes she's got cross country. Then there's after school. Then we just planned out the rest of the quarter, and it's like, okay, well, I'm traveling every other week. I am going to be in a different place every week for the next like 8 weeks, and with weightlifting for me in particular, that would have to be such a high priority to find all the gyms that I could train at. It would consume an incredible amount of mental capacity that I just don't have right now. I'm in between ruts. And I've been feeling that way for a long time because for me, travel just seems to really disrupt that. And I also think because the day that I'm training is constantly changing a lot, that I think I'm also having a hard time finding a rut. So it just seems to be one of these phases that I'm sure a lot of people are in, that it's hard to find a rhythm, which we've talked about before. I mean, I think a lot of the program structures that are out there assume you're kind of doing the same things on relatively same days and at the same time of day. Most people have like a consistent gym. So this is like the dark side of the home gym situation where I move it around a lot because I can.
Yeah.
Life's just busy right now, I think. So I'm okay with that. And I guess I am kind of in that phase that you were just talking about, right? I don't have a clear why other than, I guess the clear why is I know that I will feel worse if I don't.
Yeah.
That's the bottom of the trough for me.
Yeah.
It's like there is no other reason other than I will incrementally feel worse every day that I don't train.
And look worse.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's part of the equation for sure. I don't even know anymore what would happen if I just stopped training, in terms of how I would look and feel. I'm barely holding on as it is.
Whatever, you look amazing. Oh my God, guys.
I don't know. You do the pants test sometimes and you're like, well, things aren't really where I imagine they are.
What things are you talking about? Where are they?
Well, it's usually around the waistline. It starts to kind of like, or like certain underwear you put on, and you're like, God, apparently I bought this underwear when I was 2 waist sizes smaller, and you strap on, and it's just sort of like,
I'm gonna keep wearing them. Not gonna throw away any underwear ever.
Well, eventually I'll be down there again,
or it'll just be in a bunch of holes and it'll still work. Yeah.
I actually don't know where underwear goes. Some days I just can't find it anymore. Starts out, you get a hole in the trough usually, and it starts to migrate, and then at some point you just have like the bones of the underwear,
and you're like, yep, these are the ones I'm wearing today. For years.
Like, there's really only like 2 square inches of underwear that you need for it to do its job. And the rest is ventilation, as far as I'm concerned. And then one day, I don't know, they just vaporize in the dryer.
Yeah, I think so. That's when we're cleaning out the lint thing. It's just exactly. Underwear pieces.
Exactly. So that's my strategy with underwear. I actually don't know where new ones come from either.
They come from Santa.
Actually, the last pair of underwear I got was from Matt.
I'm the one who picked those out, though, just for the record.
Well, they were optimistically picked because those are definitely a pair that I end up feeling like things aren't in the point where I thought they would be.
Are they too big or too small?
Too small. Oh. Yeah, way too small. Especially in the crotchal region. I need the extension pack for those. Oh but the waistband is also just a bit too snug, where you're like, I manage that by wearing undershirts. I feel like if you can tuck an undershirt into your underwear, it's sort of like smooths things out. It doesn't feel so bad. Yeah.
And where does the wearing your belt free size is too tight, your lifting belt, fit into this?
That was actually one of the reasons that last session hurt so bad. I think I cracked a rib. I'm like, I'm still on hole number 1. And I
You
was
took your
definitely
shirt
not.
off and it looked like you got run over by a car or something. Like you had this completely red
Yeah.
band
I
around
was
your
still holding
waist.
on to a certain hole position that I was clearly not in anymore. Yeah, that was definitely a challenge.
I have completely detached myself from which belt hole I use. I have no idea anymore which is my skinny hole or not.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't count them. I just don't do that anymore.
That used to be I remember you commenting on that a lot.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea now.
Huh.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
That's a maturity.
Feels good on this side of the.
It's hard for me. I think I struggle because I am like at the limit of the belt when I'm sub 250. Like when I went through my big weight loss period, I was at the smallest position, and now I'm kind of floating it one up from that. So it's just impossible to not know.
Yeah.
And occasionally I'll float up to the second hole, and I'm like, oof, time to crank it down a little harder.
And I'm not going to make any other different life
Didn't
choices
actually get
except for tightening my
any
belt.
more body fat. I just wasn't trying hard enough to put the belt on. So, yeah, that definitely makes me question the why. But
Yeah.
the point of that is there are two existential fears that continually bring me back to training. One is that I would probably look and feel like a soft serve ice cream very rapidly.
Yeah, what do you call a melted candle?
I would definitely go full melted candle,
Yeah.
upper body in particular.
Yeah.
Like the Homer Simpson that does the paper clips behind his back or
Yes.
the clothespins. But the one that actually scares me the most is having to squat again after taking a
Oof.
break.
Yeah. And like you have spent so many years building muscle. It's not like it's easy to build muscle.
Right.
And if you're also just feeling like a little burnt out of training, like you've worked so hard to build that tissue, it does not happen in 3 months. Like it is a process. And man, losing it would just not feel good.
Yep. Yeah.
And maybe I think some other reasons why some people can stop enjoying training is they might actually be in physical pain and just think that that's how you're supposed to be.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much, even in our culture, we've talked about voluntary hardship, and lifting culture definitely has all that exercise and the demons, and it's my therapy, and I'm going to war. And when you're not fired up about hitting PRs, it's kind of hard to get into that gear.
Yeah, you don't actually feel good when you train. Of course, you don't want to train.
Right. So that's another great point that, like I said, I go in with the faith that I'm going to feel better afterwards. And I would say that's mostly true. It's just, kind of asterisks that sometimes there is some pain, I guess, associated with that. Like, it depends on what you consider feeling good.
Well, I'm thinking like if someone's just like, well, my back just hurts all the time when I do this, or I'm just going to deal with my wrist hurting.
That is
stuff
emotionally draining.
Yeah, it's so draining.
Yeah.
And you just think like, well, whenever I do this, I have to endure this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we're in a caloric deficit and it's harder to feel really good when you're lifting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you don't like partition your carbohydrates well, if you're not adjusting your training as you might need to, depending on the deficit, that will make you feel just slow and like your sets take really long. It doesn't feel as good. Yeah.
I think that having a trusted coach during those phases can be super helpful because they've been through it. Hopefully, I would certainly want to have a coach. Like I know my coach has gone through it. And if you are struggling with having the faith, or you're questioning, what am I doing? Is this worthwhile? Is this going to feel better? That would be a good time to reach out and get some help for sure. We're, of course, starting from the default position that strength training is going to improve the quality of your life, period. So the problem isn't strength training. The problem is, how do I keep strength training in my life consistently in a way that I keep doing it?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's going to feel good. I mean, it's almost like a marriage. Like sometimes it's going to feel good and sometimes you're going to have these rough patches. Like you got to get married to your training.
I remember saying this on one of our very earliest podcasts. It is a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's there forever.
And you're going to go through growth phases. The barbell's not going to change. It's going to be really frustrating because you're going to grow as a person.
You're doing all the work.
You're carrying the load, literally. And the barbell's just
rigid and boring.
Just an anchor on your life that you got to figure out how to keep showing up and getting it done. So if you need help doing that, where can they go?
To me, I don't think you, but to me would be good.
Yeah, don't go to me. Call Nikki. It's probably a long list of people.
1-800 I want to feel happy again. No, I think it's good. Just like you could talk to your coach and even talk to, if you happen to be lucky enough to have friends who lift, that's helpful too. Because have a conversation about things that you remember making you excited from your training, things that you don't like. Maybe there are a couple lifts in there that seriously are just buzzkills. Take them out.
So that's such a good point. We should, double click on that for a second. You talked about bringing things up with your coach. I think that's a expectation that I've been trying to communicate more and more with my clients is please, please, please tell me.
Yeah.
If there is a lift that you absolutely hate, let's work on that.
Yeah, we don't have to do it.
I just had a client actually say she wanted to totally overhaul her program. Now, in her words, she said she wanted to focus more on hypertrophy. Having done this for a long time, I know that really means I'm tired of lifting the main barbell compound lifts. And most people think, well, hypertrophy is more sets or more reps and more isolation exercises, more machines, maybe. We, as we've discussed, know that's no more effective than barbells, and vice versa. Barbells, no more effective depending on how you do your other exercise training. Other than, as we've also talked about, machines have more stability, arguably could be more effective in some ways for hypertrophy. But what I think I translated that to really mean is, like I said, I don't really want to do these same compound lifts. Heavy.
Like that's powerlifting. I don't want to do powerlifting right now. I want to do something different.
When I say heavy, I mean, trying to hit PRs, which is totally fine. Yeah. You can do that.
Yeah.
And so I restructured her whole program. Yes, there were different exercises, some single joint, some bilateral, some unilateral. I kept some barbell stuff in there, but I think she just wanted a change.
Sure.
And her why shifted, interestingly, sort of like when you get a haircut, when you see somebody go from long hair to short hair, there's usually some life transition. She had just recently lost a bunch of weight. She's got a lot of stuff changing in her personal life. And I think the program just felt old suddenly. There were so many changes in her life that it was like, this needs to change too.
That's cool.
So I think that might be another interesting thing if if an exercise is really frustrating you, or if the whole program, and she's been doing a very similar program
just
for
a Fat Tuesday.
Months and months and months, years really. And not the exact same program, but the same structure, same main lifts. In large part because consistency has been a challenge. So it's we haven't really had to change things because she'll hit a rough patch and it's we can make progress, just kind of resetting and going. But this was different. This was I'm ready for something different. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm going to call it hypertrophy. What do you think? And we had a great conversation and she seems motivated and been consistent since we switched. But I think that is another version of losing your why, is if you've fallen out of love with an exercise or something's changed in your life that you're ready for a different approach.
Yeah.
Great reason to have a conversation with your coach.
Yeah. Lots of things are possible. But if you do want to talk to me about that, I'll be your coach for an hour. Or one of my wonderful colleagues will. You can go to barbelllogic.com/experience and book a call with us.
You just did one today. What is that like for those that don't know?
When you complete the form for it on our website, we use your email and invite you to TKC. And that's really fun because you can upload your videos. If you want to review any videos on our call, we'll go over your squat, your bench press, your deadlift, your press.
In real time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
on the
cool.
call, I like to know, what made you schedule this call? What's your training like right now? And sometimes people aren't lifting and they don't have videos, and that's fine. We talk about, why they are doing what they're doing, what they want to get out of strength training. And I let them know what it's like to have a coach.
That's pretty unique. I mean,
Yeah.
even our own clients don't get the live breakdown.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
I overheard, I was like, heard you doing it earlier today, and I was like, that is either a really long feedback video in which she's talking to herself in a strange way, or there's somebody on the other end.
It was that one.
I was glad to hear
Yeah.
you were talking to somebody. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, like actually being able to go like frame by frame,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
that person ended up signing up.
And he's been lifting for a long time. Like, these just little things to correct that, he's a great lifter. It's just like, what, I think we need to work on this. And he's also at a stage in his programming where it's going to need to change. But, sometimes you don't really know. There are 100 things you could do.
Yes.
And I'll be able to tell you based on where you're coming from, where you're going. And I can give you some options. So yeah, we talk about your training. We go over your lifts, any programming questions you have, and then I'll answer any questions about what it's like to actually work with a coach.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I should sign up.
It's pretty fun. Thanks everybody for listening, and I hope you find your whys and enjoy your training.
Bye-bye.
Bye.